So you're second generation of
Yes.
after Nakba, yeah?
Yes.
And you are also Israeli Palestinians.
Yes, I live here. I was born here.
And I heard that you made 1948. For you, what's the meaning of 1948? Why it's so important for you? From why you made this movie? Motive,
First, I made this movie because I felt that as a Palestinian, I must do it. Because I knew that nobody cared. Not from the Palestinian side, and none from the Israeli side for sure, and not for the world. It was very important to me to bring the voice of the people who are going to die. I feel that I must record them before they die. In one hand. In the second hand, Israel, the state of Israel, ignored and hid what happened in 48. And they told the Israeli people something which is not fitting my reality, my point of view, my father's point of view. For example, all the years Israel said that they never destroyed villages before until the 90s. Then they didn't say that they destroyed villages. They didn't say that they drive out the people from here. And I knew that it's not right. I knew that people were pushed out of their houses, and I knew that villages were destroyed. I knew that the Israeli army killed everywhere people, innocent people, in order to make them afraid and to leave. In every village, it was systematic way. The Haganah or the army were coming to the village, and they putting all the people in the central square of the village, and they separated the people, the old together, the children and the women together, and the youngs together, 3 parts, and almost in every village, more or less they were killing people, 4 here, 10 there, 15 there. They said, yeah, go to Syria, go to Lebanon, the commander of the army. And it was for me very important to bring these stories because we never read it in the history in Israel. And it's somehow maybe it's not the right way to express it, and somehow it's like to take revenge for me to do this film, to take revenge for all what I saw in the media in Israel all the years. I wanted to take revenge. I wanted to make an answer for all what I saw on the television in Israel. So I did the film in order to tell the Israelis that the reality is not absolute. It's not absolute. Just sorry. I don't know if I am finding the right way now to express my feelings, but it was really very important for me doing this film. And I know I am not director. I know I didn't have a lot of experience of directing, but it was very important to me to come to the people, to let them talk about their experiences. And, I'm very happy I did it, because it's for the history. And I have a lot of rushes, about 35 hours. People are talking. In 1948, my father was 15 years old, and he told me this story I heard in my childhood always. He said the army came to the village, and
which village?
El Bane, my village, where I was born in 53. And they brought all the people in the yard, the yard of the village, big square, and the olive trees were there, olive trees, and it was very hot day, very very hot day, maybe in August, maybe in July, I don't know, and they put the children and the women and the old women and the old people together, and they put the young people together in one line. Big line, very big line, and the commander was two tanks, small tanks, with the soldiers. There were about 20 soldiers with the uniform, the Israeli uniform, and they said to the people, who can go and bring water for the children? And 4 people, young people, jumped and want to bring water. 2 from El Bani, from my village, and 2 from Deir al-Asad, which is very close to El Bani. And when they were going to bring the water, they shoot them on the eyes. All were witness. All the people saw it. And then they shoot them, they died. Somebody fall down, and he stand up, and he fall down again. And somebody fall down on the other side of the street. And then my father and all the young people and all the people, the old people were screaming and shouting. And then the commander say, who wants to stay, he can stay. If somebody wants to stay, he can stay here. And if you don't want to stay, this is Lebanon and this is Syria. Go. And then many people escaped. And the young people were dragged by the soldiers to the prison. And they were 6 months in the prison until the state Israel was established, and then they bring them out of the prison. And some people, when they left the prison, some people left to Syria and Lebanon, and some people stayed here. The few people who stayed here have an identity card, blue one, Israeli, like my father. This is what I heard in my village, and many similar stories happen in every village almost. In Elabun, for example, they killed 15 people. In Majd al-Krum, which is very close to my village, they killed 10 people. And they were killing the people not in their houses, just they're putting together all the people in the yard, and they killed some people. And then the people were going. It was systematic. But nobody can tell you that in the history. No Israeli can tell you, yes, we did it systematically. Nobody can tell you that. You have no way to prove it, if it's really happened or not. But when my father is telling me, he didn't lie me because I was a child. Why he have to lie me? And I knew that more or less, in Deir Yassin, for example, they killed about 93 people, but in Deir Yassin, it was a battle between the army and the people, because in Deir Yassin they have 80 guns, 80, and it was a big fight between the Israeli Lehi and Stern and Haganah together. And the people were fighting there to stay in their country. And 93 people were killed, and I think some soldiers were killed also, Israeli. And as I told you, in Tantura, more than 200, I don't know exactly the number, but it was a massacre in Tantura. It's a real massacre. In Dawaine, 500 people. So it depends. So all these details you cannot find in the history written, not the Palestinian and not the Israeli. And this is the importance of the film, because people who are telling their story, they cannot lie. It's not a propaganda. It's not. It's really happened to them. And for me, it was very important to bring this truth, because I know that many Israelis didn't know about it. Especially the new generation, my generation, the second generation of the Nakba. the Israelis who were born here after 48. They didn't know this. And in purpose, the Israeli government didn't want the people, let the people, the Israeli, to know about it. Because if the Israeli people know about it, maybe they will react in some other way. Maybe. So it was about 40 years hidden. Nobody knew about it. Now, after the process of Oslo and all the dialogue which happened between the Israelis and the Palestinians, they started bringing this truth out. But before, no. Before, you were forbidden to say you are Palestinian here. If you say I am Palestinian, you are enemy. It was forbidden to put the flag, the Palestinian flag, in the villages in Israel. Well, if you put the flag, you are in prison. Many years. And it was militaristic, in Galilee. We were under a militaristic policy until 65. It's like in the West Bank today. So it took time. The people will be ready to accept this in Israel. Now, most of the people in Israel know about that 522 villages were destroyed and about 1 million people were pushed out. Now they know about it, but before, no. And I think if you want to live for the future, for a real good future and good relationship, we must know what happened in order to avoid it later, in order to make people understanding each other. I think so. I must know what happened to my father in order to tell the other side that it mustn't happen anymore. Because if we want to live here in coexistence, we must respect each other. And you must admit that you did the wrong thing and giving me the chance to forgive you. That's it. I want to forgive, but you have to admit first.
How do you think about right of return for refugees?
Which?
Right of return,
I believe it's very natural that people who are living here, who were dreaming to come back, they must have the right of coming back. I think it's very human and justice. It is justice. I know that the people in Israel are very afraid of that, but it's not. They are afraid they have a problem. I cannot solve this problem. I believe that we have to give the Palestinian people the right of coming back in order to be trying to let people forgive. I believe that many Palestinians will not come back. Many Palestinians. But you have, first of all, to give them the right to come back, as every Jew have the right to come back to Israel from all over the world. So if the Israelis are afraid, they have a problem. It's not my problem, it's their problem. So they have to go to psychiatrist, psychologist. I am not their psychologist. When I look at the people in Sabra and Shatila, and I look at the suicide bomber and the victims around, I feel the same, because these are innocent people and these are innocent people. Israel is Palestine. There are two people are living here and they must live together. It's impossible. We have to be here together and to live and to support each other, to help each other, to try to understand each other in order to create another future. It's impossible. And Israel is so afraid, so, in itself, like this, defending. When you are defending yourself, you become attacker. Don't defend yourself anymore, because it's a big state, Israel, a very strong state. And we, the Palestinians, have no state. So we need the support of the Israelis. And we can give them the guarantee that if they give us our life, our dignity, we don't fight anymore for freedom. And I want the Israelis to know that, because I'm really fighting in my way, cinema and theater, not by gun. But I will continue fight, because since we have an occupation, I continue fight all my life. I don't have time for living. I don't have time. I want my children to live. So I will fight until I have the real peace and the real life, without occupation, without hunger, without siege, without gun, without suicide bomber, without all this. It's very important to me to tell the Israelis that I am Palestinian and I never dream about destroying Israel. It's really like that. I will fight, but not in legitimate way. But I cannot say to somebody who is living under occupation, under hunger, and humiliation and everything, I cannot tell him, don't kill yourself, because he has nothing to lose. These people who are coming and making suicide bombers, I don't think they are doing that for fun or for going to the heaven. No. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to die. And I don't want them to die and to kill people. But reality sometimes pushing you to do something that you don't want to do. And it's really pity. But I know that now I hope all what's happening, I hope they will find a solution. There's a lot of hatred here, a lot. People don't like you because you are not Jewish, you are not Israeli, you are not a part of the consensus. No, I don't want to be a part of the consensus because I was not born Jewish, I was not born Israeli, I was born Palestinian. So I can keep being Palestinian and respecting you. I'm not your enemy. So you have to respect me because I respect you. And that's it.
Last question, sir.
Yeah.
How do you think about wall or fence what they are building near the borders? They are building the fence for the wall.
Yes, I believe that it's false. It's false. It's like Berlin Wall. The same thing. The day will come and the people will destroy the wall. I believe that the wall will not give the confidence to anybody. It's like Berlin Wall. It will be maybe some years and the people will destroy this wall. I'm sure of that. When we will forgive each other, we will destroy the wall. So why you have to build a wall? At least it will be destroyed. And I don't think that the wall can give confidence to people. It's impossible to make to solve problems with wall. Like it's impossible to solve problems with force. I don't believe so. We must solve the problems in a new way of understanding, of admitting, of respecting, and not by wall. Wall will never solve problem. I believe so. And it will make more and more problems. It will make more problems between the two people.
You face some difficulty when you make films or pressure from people or government.
Yeah. For me, it's just to endanger your life. I'm telling you the truth. I'm endangering my life, my family life. I'm forbidden to work. I'm not forbidden, but nobody wants to collaborate, work with me in the Israeli cinema, in the Israeli theater. It's really hard because everybody consider you the enemy of this country. They consider me the enemy of the Israelis and the enemy of the Jewish state. I'm not. I don't consider myself an enemy for anybody. But they consider you an enemy and you are Ahmad Yassin for them. And I don't like Ahmad Yassin. I'm not Ahmad Yassin. I don't want to be Ahmad Yassin. I don't want to be extremist. And they will never succeed to make me extremist. Never. But if you are not from the consensus, and you are enemy of the country, and it's really pity. Really.
You were born 1953.
Yes.
And which month?
November 27.
November 27.
Yes.
Memorial Day. Yeah?
Yeah.
Partition. The name, yes?
Yes.
Name and age, yes.
My name is Fakhri Jadai. I was born here in Jaffa in 1926. Stayed here, my father and so. My father is a pharmacist also. My father is also a pharmacist. He established this pharmacy where I am now working in 1924. It is now about more than 70 years old, the pharmacy. And this house is the family house. My grandfather, my father, and we own it. It is about more than 140 years old.
Mm-hmm. You're Christian, yes?
Yes, I am a Christian, Arab Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Most important, I am an Arab Christian.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And then till 1959, with some friends in Nazareth, in Taibe and Haifa, we got together and established a movement called Al-Ard movement. The first item in this Al-Ard movement was that the Arabs of 1948, those remained in Israel, are Palestinian Arabs, part of the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people is part of the Arab world extending from the Gulf to the Atlantic. Our hope and aim was to preserve the Arab interest inside the Green Line, to preserve and bolster the Arab aspirations towards self-emancipation, dignity and pride online with the most noble aim of Arab unity. But unfortunately, the Israeli government in the 60s outlawed our movement. You know that we, the Arabs in the Green Line, inside the Green Line, I know the authorities, even the Jews, the Zionists all over Israel, look upon us as a foreign body. As a foreign body, which we shouldn't be given full rights, though they pretend to be a democratic state. So if you can witness or can feel also hatred on the part of the Arabs toward the fellow Jews, Zionist Jews, it is because of what they are feeling, how they are persecuted on a very low, on very hurting, discriminatory policy. That's why. But I was the chairman of the League of Jaffa Arabs for 6 years. But some fellow Arabs here, members, began to mingle politics inside this movement. So I resigned, submitted and I am now.
I heard that very severe demonstration happened here in Jaffa.
Yes.
After massacre of Hebron.
Yes.
Can you describe what happened exactly and how people felt themselves?
Sure. This Hebron massacre was one of the most barbaric massacres committed in the 20th century. It's totally barbaric. It was committed because it was basing itself on racist feelings on behalf of this man that committed this massacre in collusions with many more elements who are imbued with racist behavior toward the Arabs. They are blind, racist, full of hatred toward the Arabs. It was committed, so it was kind of a part that illuminated all the feelings of the Arabs here in the Green Line, who are full of despair and illusions, full of bitter feelings, how they are treated.
Yeah, I want to ask what's happening in Jaffa.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So the first day, it was on Friday, people gathered at the Muslim club, nearly about 500 or more, and from there they marched quietly till the mosque. The next day, still these ill feelings were very boiling. So many young peoples went to the streets to manifest their bitter feelings toward this massacre.
What they shout?
They shouted They didn't shout against kill the Jews. This is I myself didn't hear that. But because at that time even I wasn't all the time there because I was working in the pharmacy at that day on Saturday. But I saw them passing the streets. They throwing some stones on the police because the police at that time used lot of force. Had the police didn't show this kind of force, I think lot of incidents wouldn't happen. But the police showed lot of force and lot of muscles. The reaction of the masses were also bitter against the police. Had the police been absent from the street and so, I don't think many of these incidents would have happened. But this show of force ignited the feelings of the masses against them, against the force.
What people said?
Exactly, I didn't, but they shouted to get revenge of the massacre and so. But I myself, exactly, I didn't hear anything shouting against the Jews. But I heard when they passed in front of the pharmacy, they used to cry, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. This is the only thing really I heard, nothing else.
So after that, what happened?
Then after that in the evening, we gathered at the Muslim Islamic club because there was 3 days of mourning. We used to go there every evening. There were prayers from verses from the Quran and so some speeches and so. That evening, Saturday evening, Ronnie Milo, the mayor of Jaffa, and some of his associates came to the club. Also, they manifested their indignations at this massacre and promised people that they will interfere the police to release the women and the small youngsters that were detained. But the adults, he said, perhaps in 1 or 2 days. He will tackle the problem with the police and to see what they can do. In fact, it took about 3 or 4 days until all the people were released.
How many people are detained?
I heard that about 130 were detained. Women also, some women. 3 or 4 women got bruises, one with broken arm, another broken leg.
Demonstration put the Palestinian flag?
No, this is I didn't see.
Or demonstrators said we are Palestinians like this?
They didn't say, but it is evident they are Palestinians. Nobody can deny them. They are Palestinians. It's very obvious. Arabs in Israel are Arabs first, Palestinians second, Palestinians third, but they are Israeli citizens here. They carry but they are Palestinians.
I heard that from 1948 until now, people of Jaffa didn't say they are Palestinians. They said they are keep quiet and they said they are Arabs in Israel. But now openly they said that we are Palestinians in the street. Yeah?
No, this is what the government and some authorities and some people in some sections of security or so, they wanted to impregnate the Arabs here and to propagate the false idea that the Arabs here in Jaffa or in Israel, they are Israeli Arabs. They don't want to hear about this Palestinian. This is what they wanted. It was only a wishful thinking. This is what they wanted. But in fact, no. They were always, since 1948, till today, until generations to come, they are Arabs first, and they will remain Arabs, and they will remain Palestinian Arabs.
So, can you tell me how many Palestinians in Jaffa?
In Jaffa, nowadays, we have between 15,000 and 20,000.
Before 48, how many it was?
Before 1948, in Jaffa, there were 100,000 people in Jaffa.
100,000.
Yes.
And where they went?
In 1948, after this catastrophic tragedy, most of them left for the Arab countries. Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, few to Egypt, some to the Gaza Strip, at that time to Gaza. This is why they were dispersed all over the Arab world. Few families even went to Iraq.
Now I want to ask about peace process. Yeah.
Yes.
When you heard about it last September,
Yes.
what your real feelings?
In fact, when I heard about it, I was not impressed by it. Because to expect peace should stand on three pillars. Peace, to achieve peace, it should be based on justice, mutual respect, and good intentions. In this Oslo agreement, I don't see any of these. It is a joke. It is a kind of trap. There is nothing in it like peace. The Arabs, the Palestinian Arabs, unfortunately, they were given a small piece of bread, and it is not the fault of the PLO, the Palestine, or if we say the fault of Arafat that he signed this. The first fault, and those who stand behind this tragedy are the Arab rulers. So to claim that the Arab rulers were always fomented troubles, fomented plots against the Palestinian people. When I blame anybody, I have to blame first the Arab rulers.
So you are very pessimistic about this peace treaty.
I don't see anything in that. It is good for the media, for the press to say this is one optimistic or pessimistic. But in fact, on the ground, either you see or foresee any hope for peace based on justice, mutual respect, good intentions, the two parties behaving in dignity and pride. Here there is no. All these elements are absent. It is a kind of trap. It is a kind of humiliations if there is a little bit of good intentions to achieve peace based on confidence, you won't see this genocide, Palestinian peoples getting killed every day. When the United Nations, with its Security Council inside, all behaving like hypocrites, they are only manipulated by the interest of United States that claim that she is the only superpower, she is the police. She wants, now the United States wants to get the role of Hitler, the 1,000-year Reich, international justice or international new order. What kind of new order? It is the order of the United States subjugating all other peoples. For her only economic money, greed. This is the only motto now America is having. And the United Nations Security Council are mere, they are nothing. They are the joke. United Nations and Security Council nowadays, it is the joke. They are a gathering of hypocrites. Nothing more.
Our organization, we believe in a few principles. A cycle where one side hits the other and the other side hits back, and it's never ending, or it goes on as long as both sides choose to participate in it. Our choice is to end the cycle of violence, is to end it and to talk, to discuss all of the very difficult issues that are in the way of peace. We believe, we do not believe in advocating a political line. Our kids come, they're Palestinians, they're Israelis, they're Jordanians. They have to make up their own mind. They have to make their own decision and reach their own agreements. We're not arrogant people, Americans, who come to impose a solution on people, but to use our role as a third party, as an outsider, to help them to sit together and talk together. Mm-hmm. Our youth, our teenagers, in 90%, they know how to discuss these issues with each other. It's very difficult, it's very painful. They argue many times, they have conflicts, they have difficulty resolving issues, but no one gets hurt. And they continue talking, and much of the time, they find their own solutions. And that is our belief. Our other belief is that peace can't be just between governments. It has to be between people, between real people on the ground. There has to be some trust. There has to be some understanding and some faith in the other side. These times right now are the most difficult because right now extremists are acting on both sides. They're acting in violent ways, and they're destroying all of the trust. They're destroying the foundation that peace has to be built on.
And suddenly happened this last Intifada, yes, 1 month ago. It was very cruel and it's very bitter fight. And in the midst of this Intifada, Israel soldier entered to his villages. That time I couldn't understand what he really wanted to do. Yeah.
Okay, this is a very very disturbing incident personally for me, because I have lost an extraordinary friend, and also I feel that both the Palestinians and the Israelis lost someone who was special for them, who had the right power for both of them to bring them together. What happened to Asil is very, very difficult to understand. I do not find it justified. I am waiting to see what the results of the Israeli government's investigation will be. But I do know this: Asil never acted in any violent way. He may have gone to protest because he wanted to protest for the rights of the Palestinians or for the rights of the Arab Israelis. He has a right to do that as a citizen. I know that he is not the kind of person who would have threatened anyone, a soldier or a policeman or any other person. And that is what the eyewitnesses who were there also say. I have not been there, I was not an eyewitness. However, I've been to the scene afterwards many times. I'm very close with his family, and they were there, his father was there, and I certainly believe and support the testimony that his father gives. It is, I do not think that Asil would have done anything violent to anyone, and I absolutely cannot believe that he was killed. And his death was an absolute disaster for the Israeli society, and something that it should think about for years, about the loss for itself in killing a brilliant young leader who could have brought so much peace to this place.
It means he didn't throw the stones that time.
Again, I was not at the demonstration. I can simply tell you what eyewitnesses have told me, what his father has told me, and I asked his father many times. His father said no, not a single stone. There were other people who did, but Asil did not. And regardless, killing is not an answer for that kind of demonstration. Perhaps an arrest, perhaps even if necessary, other means to control a person, but to kill someone? It's and it simply reveals, I feel like people here, when all they see is an enemy on the other side, they don't understand that they're really hurting someone who is valuable to them, someone who can help to build a better future for them. And that's what happened to us.
If I come here in the daytime, other children are gathering here?
Very sadly, during this time of war, there are not children gathering here. The Palestinian children are in a closure. That means that they cannot leave their cities. They cannot travel here. And this is a very difficult time for our children. They're talking on email very intensively and on the telephones. Now, before this war began, and before both sides began using violence to express their political opinions, there were children gathering here every day, dozens of Palestinian and Israeli children. We miss those days a great deal. And now, the boy that you speak of, his name's Asil Asli, and he was one of the stars of our movement of Seeds of Peace. He was a member for 3 years. He first went to our summer camp in 1997, and since then, barely a day has gone by that we haven't heard from him on email or seen him in activities here at the center or meeting with his friends. He had dozens and dozens of friends, both Jews and Arabs. One of the extraordinary things about Asil, and he really was an extraordinary person, was that as a Palestinian citizen of Israel or an Arab Israeli, he had a very difficult conflict in his identity between being a citizen of the Israeli state and being a brother of the Palestinians, and both of those peoples, as we know, have been in a conflict for many years. Asil, however, just had a brilliant understanding of the conflict, and he saw himself first and foremost as a human being, and all other people as human beings. And after that came those identities. He was very proud to be a Palestinian. He was very proud to be an Arab. And at the same time, he was also fluent in Hebrew. He also had dozens of Jewish friends. He knew how to handle all sides of this very difficult equation at age 15. It was a remarkable thing to see, It was put to the test when he was in our organization, and he had to try to have relationships both with Jews and with Palestinians and with Jordanians and Egyptians, and he was one of the people who succeeded with all of them. But also very able to talk about all the difficult issues of the Middle East and to make people understand him. I never heard him yell. I never saw him become, angry at someone. He spoke softly and made people understand him. He thought about these things very deeply, and the other Arab Israelis and the other Seeds of Peace, all of them, really saw him as a wise person and as a leader, as someone who understood, had the secret of how to get past this conflict and really live out your full potential as a human being. I have pictures of him. This is Asil right here. He's then 16 years old. He's in Switzerland at a conference where we brought some of the best children in the movement, some of the most talented, to negotiate an agreement on all of the difficult final status issues between the Israelis and Palestinians. In each picture that you'll see, Asil will be surrounded by friends, and it's always a group including every country. He was never stuck to one side or the other. Here is Palestinian, Israeli, Jordanian, Palestinian, Israeli, Jordanian, like that.
Mm-hmm.
All of them friends with Asil. When he came home from camp, he was just as active. Here he's gone to Kibbutz Yahel down south, where we were having a meeting with kids from the many different countries. Once again, there are Israelis and Jordanians in this picture. Mm-hmm. Asil also invited friends to come to his home during Ramadan for the breaking of the Muslim fast of Ramadan, so that they could learn about the Muslim culture and the Arab culture. And he continued in these activities with Seeds of Peace until the last day. The last time that I saw Asil was about 1 month before he was killed. The day after he died, there were more than 50 people in here, 50 of his friends lighting candles, bringing every memory they had of Asil, and feeling that we had lost an incredible human being. We'd lost someone unique and irreplaceable.
אותו יום זה הייתה שביתה במגזר הערבי, והצעירים, מכיוון שאין להם לא מועדונים או מקומות אחרים שיבלו, אז הם מסתובבים. והרחוב שהלכו אליו זה רחוב שידוע אחרי הצהריים הוא סואן מבחינת הולכי רגל. אנשים הולכים בין הכרמים, זנאים, מבלים את הזמן שלהם. קבוצה שהייתה שם הבחינה שיש כוחות ביטחון, ואז כולם ידעו שיש כוחות ביטחון, וככה ההתקהלות כל הזמן הלכה וגדלה. עכשיו ההתקהלות הלכה וגדלה והתאבתה. אני כאדם מעורה במה שקורה פה בכפר, נודע לי שיש התקהלות שם. אז הלכתי כדי לעזור לארגן את זה יותר טוב, זאת אומרת שלא יהיו חריגות, ממש לשמור על הבחורים האלה שאין להם ניסיון. עכשיו, המשטרה בשלב מסוים, במרחק של מספר מטרים מהאנשים, בשני ג'יפים, ואלה היו סיירת כפרית, לא משטרה בכחול. והתחילו לראות רימוני גז ועשן, ואחר כך גומי, ממרחק מטרים ספורים. אז אנשים התפזרו, ואילו הייתה להם כוונה להזיק או לסכן את כוחות המשטרה, כמו שטען שר המשטרה, יכלו בהחלט לפחות לשרוף את שני הג'יבים על יושביהם. אבל אנחנו מנענו את זה וקראנו לצעירים לא להתגרות ולשמור על השקט. וכמובן כל אחד התחבא מאחורי עץ זית או מאחורי אבן או סלע שהייתה בדרכו. אפילו זרקת אבנים בחזרה לא הייתה.
פשוט עמדו וצעקו סיסמאות והניפו דגלים, תגיד את העם, אז מה כן היה? תספר למצלמה.
הם פשוט עמדו והפריחו סיסמאות, ולא היו בינתיים מתגלים שם, רק סיסמאות. וסיסמאות לא מתגרות, זאת אומרת, לא כללות, לא התגרות במשטרה, סיסמאות שתצאו מאל-אקצא ודי להרג וכן לשלום, דבר כזה. עכשיו, המשטרה ניסוגה, הסיירת כפרית הזו, עלו למעלה לחורשה, אם תסתכל מאחוריך יש לך את החורשה, החורשה היא ממול. ואני הבחנתי אז, כי עקבתי אחריהם מה שהם הולכים לעשות. אני ועוד מספר חבר'ה שעשינו סדר עם הצעירים. הבחנו שהחורשה הזו מלאה בכוחות ביטחון. מלאה ממש. לשמה הגיעו כל כך הרבה כוחות, אני לא יודע. בכל זאת, עצרנו את האנשים שלא יחצו את הוואדי. ובינתיים נכנסה המשטרה ביטחון. היא עמדה מרחק של 300 מטר מההתקהלות והחלה לזרוק רימוני גז וגז מדמיע ועשן וכדורי גומי. היו מספר נפגעים, ולמרות שהיו מספר נפגעים, האנשים לא הגיבו בזריקת אבנים, מכיוון שהם יודעים המשטרה עומדת בגבעה מעליהם ושום אבן לא תגיע שם גם. אף אחד לא רצה גם לפרוץ את הקו המפריד ולהתגרות בהם יותר מדי. זה היה בערך בשעה 2:30 עד 3. ב-3 הכיתה של המשטרה בכחול נסוגה, נכנסה לחורשה, וג'יפ אחד התקדם וירדו ממנו מספר אנשים בין 6 ל-7 אנשים. הם תפסו עמדה יותר קרובה לאנשים, מרחק של 180 עד 200 מטר מקסימום. ממש נשכבו על הכביש ותפסו עמדת ירי.
צלפים?
אני לא יכול להגיד שזה צלפים מכיוון שאני לא כל כך מעורה בכוחות הביטחון, אבל אלו היו בחאקי ולא משטרה בכחול. אסיל בינתיים ישב מרחק של 40 מטר ממני על יד עץ זית, יש שם כרם של זיתים ואנחנו ניסע לשם ואני אראה לך את זה, עם הגב אל השוטרים ועם הפנים אלינו. הוא התבונן ממש כמו אחד שמסקרן אותו, מכיוון שזו הייתה גם ההפגנה הראשונה שלו שהוא יוצא.
זו הייתה ההפגנה הראשונה שלו?
כן. הבחנתי שהוא נמצא בסכנה ואז צעקתי אליו שיקום משם. הוא לא ידע למה אני צועק עליו. הוא לא חשש גם שיש כוחות משטרה שיכולים לסכן אותו מאחור. צעקתי עוד הפעם יותר חזק ואז הוא הבחין שיש סכנה. הוא קם לברוח. בינתיים 3 חבר'ה שקמו מבין הכיתה הזו של היורים התחילו לרוץ בריצת עמוק למטה בכביש ומעל אסיל קפצו ממש. הוא קם לברוח, הוא לא הספיק, נתנו לו מכה בקט הרובה, הוא התנדנד, לקח לו כמה מטרים, 2-3 מטרים הוא התנדנד לפניהם ואז ירו בו. ממש שלפו וירו בו. הוא נפל ואני התחלתי לצעוק בשמו אסיל. הייתה לי הרגשה שהוא הלך, לא ידעתי מה מידת הפציעה שלו. התעלפתי ואנשים לקחו אותי אחורה. התעוררתי אחרי מספר דקות, בערך 5-10 דקות, ושאלתי היכן אסיל, אמרו לי תירגע. לקחו אותו למרכז חייט, מרכז רפואי בסכנין. נסענו בעקבותיו לשם, הרכב שלי היה קרוב, ושם איך שהגעתי הם היו מוציאים אותו אל האמבולנס שהמתין שם. שאלתי לאן, אמרו לי לנהריה. מה המצב? אמרו לי קשה. נסענו בעקבות האמבולנס, האמבולנס נסע לפנינו, וקבוצת חבר'ה בסכנין שהיו בכביש הראשי אמרו הם לא נתנו לאמבולנס לחזור מפה, להיכנס מפה, מחסום של המשטרה. הם נכנסו באמצע הכפר ומחפשים דרך אלטרנטיבית אחרת. איפה יש דרך אלטרנטיבית? אמרו לי על יד האצטדיון, מגרש הכדורגל. ניגשנו לשם ונסענו מרחק של כ-500 מטר בדרך אפר אחרי האמבולנס. לא השגנו אותו, אבל המשכנו לנסוע. באמצע הדרך האוטו שלי התקלקל והיו לי שני חבר'ה ברכב שאנחנו תישארו פה. אני אסע עם אמא שלו לבית החולים אחד. עצרתי טרם במקרה מישהו שהכיר אותנו ונסענו בעקבותיו. לפני שהגענו למחסום של המשטרה, האמבולנס חוזר. אז חשבתי שהצוות של האמבולנס יבחנו שהבחור ממש הלך. אז ירדתי ושאלתי מה קרה, למה אתם לא חוזרים? אמרו שהמשטרה לא נתנה לנו להיכנס, למרות שהודענו להם שיש לנו פצועים, ומה שהשיבו זה שתמות אתה והם ביחד. ואם תזו סנטימטר אנחנו נראה בך. מה עשית? הוא אמר, קראתי לאמבולנס של מגן דוד אדום מכרמיאל, והוא בא ולקח אותו לנהריה. אנחנו המשכנו לנהריה אחריו. כשהגענו לא מצאנו רישום, לא במיון ולא ברנטגן. ניגשנו לחדר הניתוח, צלצלתי בפעמון של הדלת, יצא איזה רופא ושאל. שאלתי אותו איפה אסיר. הוא אומר לי, יש לי בחור בפנים שאין עליו זיהוי, אני מביא לך את הבגדים שלו, אני הבגד שלו. לא בסדר, הוא הביא את הבגדים בין החולצה הירוקה שלו של Seals of Peace. ידעתי שזה הוא. שאלתי מה מצבו, הוא אומר לי קריטי. אמרתי לו, מה זאת אומרת קריטי? הוא אומר, אנחנו נעשה לו ניתוח שייקח שעות. אמרתי לו, בסדר, אני אמתין. אחרי כ10 דקות הם מוציאים אותו מחדר הניתוח ומעבירים אותו לטיפול נמרץ. שמתי לב למכשיר ההנשמה שהיה עליו, שהוא לא מגיב. אין נשימה ממש. אבל רציתי לקוות שאולי. ביקשו מאיתנו להמתין בחוץ, המתנו כ10 שעה. ואז רופא קורא לנו ואומר, תשמעו, המצב קריטי ביותר. ואני שאלתי, מה זאת אומרת קריטי? אני לא יכול להבין. תתייחס, למה זה קריטי? מה הפגיעה? אז הוא אומר לי, יש פגיעה בראש. שאלתי כדור, הוא אומר לי, אני לא יכול להגיד לך. אבל יש פגיעה רצינית בראש ויש נתק בין המוח לבין הגוף, שזה נמשך כבר שעה וחצי. תמתינו בחוץ ואנחנו נעשה את שלנו. המתנו כרבע שעה עד 20 דקות וקוראים לנו. אומרים רק מילה אחת, וזה היה רופא אחד, לא מנהל הבית חולים ולא הצוות ולא אף אחד אחראי אחר, רק הרופא שטיפל בו. הוא מודיע לנו במילה אחת, הוא מת. עכשיו כמובן שאנחנו קיבלנו את זה בתדהמה וקשה מאוד. וחשוב לציין שהיו נוכחים בבית חולים המון קציני משטרה. ואף אחד לא ניגש ואמר, תשמע חביב, אני מייעץ לך לעשות ככה וככה. וגם המנהלים או האחראים של בית החולים לא ניגשו אלינו ואמרו, אנחנו מעדיפים שנעשה לו כך וכך. למשל ניתוח לאחר המוות. השאירו אותנו לבד, אנחנו נשארנו בחצר של הבית חולים כמעט רבע שעה, חצי שעה. אחר כך בא מישהו מהכבר והסיע אותנו חזרה. ולמחרת שלחתי מישהו רופא קרוב משפחה. וגם לא הציעו לו שיעשו ניתוח. הוא הבחין שכתבו על הפתק רפואי שלו פעילות אויב. ואני נדהמתי לשמוע את זה מפיו. ואמר, מה עושים? אני עומד לדרוש ניתוח לאחר המוות. אמרתי לו, תשמע, המועצה המקומית כבר הודיעה שהלוויה תצא בשעה 4. בוודאי אם יסיעו אותו לאבו כביר, מה זה יעזור? הרי בדוח הרופאי מצוין שזה כדור. מה זה יעזור? אומר לי, בסדר, אבל בכל זאת. אמרתי לו, לא. אם אנחנו בעתיד נצטרך לעשות לו ניתוח כזה, אני מוכן גם נפשית וגם גופנית לעשות את זה. ובינתיים לא ידענו מה שהולך לקרות, איך הממשלה תגיב, איך האחראים יגיבו. והיה איפול עיתונאי חשוב להגיד, וגם תגובות זעם וחרם וממש התקפות גופניות מצד חבר'ה יהודים מהמגזר היהודי כנגד המגזר הערבי. וזה ממש הצית את הרגשות. אני כאב הרגשתי שזה לא הזמן, לא להתרגש ולא לבכות אפילו. חשוב לי היה לשבור את האיפול התקשורתי שהטילו עלינו. ואז למחרת, אחרי הלוויה, נסעתי לתל אביב ונפגשתי עם שגרירי אירופה. והסברתי להם מה שקרה. אספנו מהשטח ממצאים, הרבה ממצאים ממה שהיה שם. וככה התחיל להישבר מעגל האיפול לאט לאט, ופורסם בכל חלקי העולם, בכל המקומות שאפשר להגיע אליהם, שהיו לנו חבר'ה או שעיתונאים התעניינו, אם זה דרך השגרירות שלהם, למשל היו עיתונאים מקנדה, מארצות הברית, מגרמניה, מבריטניה, מצרפת, מאוסטרליה. ורק אחרי כשבועיים התקשורת הישראלית ניאותה להתקשר ולשאול, אולי אתה יכול להגיד לנו מה קרה. וכך התחלתי לגלגל את זה בתקשורת המקומית, ורק אחרי שנודע לכל מה שקרה, הממשלה מחליטה למנות ועדת בדיקה. ואז הרגשנו שזה ממש לצחוק לך בעיניים. אנחנו סירבנו לשתף פעולה עם ועדת הזאת ודרשנו ועדת חקירה ממלכתית על פי חוק. הם לא נהנו בהתחלה ואנחנו עמדנו על שלנו ואמרנו לא ניתן לזה לעבור ככה סתם. אי אמונה במשפט הישראלי. אנחנו יודעים ששופטים ישראלים נתונים תחת השפעת תקשורת והלכי רוח חברתיים מסוימים. ואנחנו לא רוצים שההשפעה הזו היא שתכריע בסוף. אנחנו רוצים ממש טיפול משפטי גרדה, ללא רגשות, ללא סנטימנטליות, שהצדק ייראה וגם יעשה. ואני הייתי רוצה לראות את אלה שהוציאו גזר דין מוות, גזר דין שדה, כנגד הבן שלי והשאר החבר'ה עומדים לדין ומקבלים את עונשם. אנחנו לא מחפשים לא נקם ולא דבר אחר. אנחנו פשוט בני אדם שזכותנו גם למחות וגם להפגין, ואלה זכויות בסיסיות שישראל חתמה עליהן גם באמנת ז'נבה, ואי אפשר להתעלם מזה. ואנחנו לא רוצים שבעתיד כל אמת שאנחנו מוחים על משהו מעוות או מפליא יצאו אלינו עם נשק. אנחנו רוצים שיתחילו להתנהג עם המגזר הערבי כאל מגזר שהוא חלק אינטגרלי ממדינת ישראל, מכובד, ויש לכבד את זהותו הלאומית וזכותו ותעודת זהותו הישראלית. ואנחנו לא רואים את עצמנו כבדלנים מהמדינה או שייכים לגוף אחר חוץ מהמדינה הזאת. אנחנו רואים במדינת ישראל כמדינת שני העמים, ואני חושב שממשלת ישראל צריכה להתחיל לחשוב בצורה רצינית וגם לחנך במגזר היהודי בצורה רצינית לזה שהערבים בישראל הם חלק אינטגרלי של המדינה, ויש להם את הזכות הלגיטימית גם להפגין וגם למחות, ויש להם את הייחוד הלאומי שלהם. אנחנו חושבים שמערכת החינוך, גם החברתית וגם הממלכתית, פשטה את הרגל בעקבות המאורעות האלה, וזה גם כואב לנו. זה לא רק כואב לצד השני, שכל מה שחינכו במשך 52 שנה נפל ממש ברגע שיצאו אלינו עם נשק. אנחנו רוצים לקוות מדינת חוף שמכבדת את אזרחיה ושומרת עליהם ולא יוצאת נגדם כל אמת שיש איזשהו אירוע בגבול או במקומות אחרים. מתחילים לשאול ולחקור האם ערביי ישראל נאמנים למדינה או לא נאמנים למדינה. אנחנו לא רוצים לשמוע את השאלה הזאת, נאמנים או לא נאמנים. אנחנו אזרחי המדינה, יש לנו ייחוד לאומי ואנחנו מיעוט, ואנחנו חלק אינטגרלי של המדינה הזאת. וכך צריכים להתחיל להתייחס אלינו. אחרת העתיד הוא שחור מאוד. זו מחאה, וזו לא אינתיפאדה. אין לנו דרישות לעצמאות או משהו כזה. יש לנו צעקה כנגד העיוות והאפליה שנעשתה נגדנו במשך 52 שנים. וזה בכל המישורים, לא במישור אחד. הסממן של המחאה הזאת היה גם הזדהות עם העם הפלסטיני ומה שעובר עליו בשטחים. ואין ספק שאנחנו בעד הקמת מדינה פלסטינית עצמאית ליד מדינת ישראל. בזכות בסיסית של כל אדם עלי אדמות, לא משנה היכן הוא נמצא, זו זכות בסיסית, ואני מחובתי כאדם לתמוך בו. וכך חינכתי את אסיל, וכך אסיל גדל, והוא הרחק לכת ממני, שאל אותי, מה אתה רוצה ממני לעשות כשאני אגדל? אמרתי לו, בני, תשמע, סבא שלך השאיר לי דגל פה. אני גדלתי, זקנתי, וכוחותיי אפסו להגיד לך את האמת. אם תוכל לשאת את הדגל הזה, אתה מבורך. שא אותו ותמשיך את הדרך. הוא אומר לי, איזה דרך? אמרתי לו, אני מכיר דרך אחת ויחידה שחרוט עליה 3 עקרונות. אהבת האל, אהבת הזולת ואהבת האדמה. ועל זה נאבקתי, ואני מקווה שאתה תיאבק על זה עד סוף ימיך. ותעביר את המסר הזה לילדים שלך בעתיד. ואני מאוד גאה כשראית, וגם עכשיו אני גאה, שהוא לקח את הדגל ועשה את העבודה על הצד היפה ביותר שיכולתי לקוות שהוא יעשה. אם נסתכל על הגיל שלו שהיה סך הכל נער בן 17, לייצג את עמו ואת מדינתו במקומות שונים בעולם בגאווה ובמסירות, בעיניי זה ממש גאווה שלי. הוא נרצח לא בגלל הפוליטיקה שלו, בגלל הפוליטיקה של הצד השני, לסיפוק, לגאווה, שהנה יש אפשרות, וייתכן שיהיה פתרון לבעיה של המזרח התיכון, ויש אפשרות ששני העמים יחו ביחד. ומי אמר שאי אפשר? שקרן מי שאמר שאי אפשר. לכן הוא לא היה רק אדם פוליטי, הוא היה אדם בכל רמ"ח גופו. הוא ממש היה חוקר, הוא ממש היה פריק של קומפיוטר ופריק של שפות וחקירה, וכל הזמן למד. בכל נושא שהמורה שלו שאל אותו, הוא לא הסתפק במה שכתוב בספר הלימודים שלו, הוא חקר, הוא עיין, הוא חיפש מקורות אחרים, הוא עשה עבודות ממש מושלמות. כבר בתיכון לעשות עבודה כמו שעושים באוניברסיטה או במקומות אחרים בהשכלה הגבוהה, זה אומר דרשני, וזה לא לשווא. אני נתתי כל החיים שלי רק לשני דברים, גידול הילדים וטיפוח התקווה הזו של שלום וחיים משותפים בין שני העמים. אז הוא לא מת תחת העקרונות האלה. הם רצחו אותו מכיוון שאלה שהחליטו לחסל את אסיל לא ידעו את מי הם מחסלים. הם לא הבחינו בין אסיל לבין שאר החבר'ה. בעיניהם הוא נער ערבי שצריכים לחסל. ואני מאוד מצטער שזה קורה. זה כואב. אבל אנחנו נמשיך את הדרך הזאת. אין לנו מלך.